Stuck on an Island, 4 movies.
For the sake of ideas, Castaway.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
I feel like it's a good reference to have around.
good
Like,
strategy.
You are a genius.
what am I going to eat today? Oh, I
That's
should check into that
amazing.
movie, see what he does.
No, it's true. We're better together, better together, better together. Gonna love you all my life.
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
Anthem Lights.
It's the Anthem Lights show.
Okay, I don't think you've missed a note yet when you've done that.
really
Every time.
I'm so scared
It's
every
been
time.
perfect.
Sounds like it's
And then
auto-tuned.
after I sing that every time, I hate myself.
That's Caleb. I'm Spencer. That's Chad. And that's Joey.
What up?
And we're super excited. Thank you so much for tuning in. Depending on where you're listening from, we appreciate you clicking that play button and making
My
this
favorite
happen.
button.
Man, there's a play button.
That play button, though, bro.
On this podcast, we're going to be talking about some geek outs and some
Geek outs?
geek outs, things that we're geeking out about.
I love it, bro.
Geek
And
out.
we have some questions to answer that I'm really excited to answer. And yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So
Let's do it.
Dope.
So, just some Anthem Lights updates for you guys. We just released our 10,000 Reasons video. It just went live. It's the
did.
last, right? The last song and video
From
of our Hymns
Hymns
2
2.
album.
So we think.
What a ride Hymns 2 has been.
yeah.
What, 10 songs, 10 videos?
Yeah.
We don't play around, y'all. We do a video for everything.
We really do.
Everything.
We want to say a huge congrats to Caleb and Kelsey as their album that they just released, their Timeless Worship, right? Hit number one on iTunes, and that is cray cray.
These guys
you.
cannot put out
Killing
an
it.
album that's not
That
number
doesn't
one.
go number one.
They
Seriously.
can't not go number one.
Can't not nice. Double negative. We are super close to hitting 1 million on YouTube and 2 million on Facebook. How close are we?
So
Remember the
close.
numbers? We're just
We're
really close.
we're like
Like-
one.
1.8 on Facebook, and then
No, we're 1.95.
Oh.
or 1.95 on
Close.
Facebook.
It's like 1.8 something on.
Not that we're
YouTube,
paying
right?
attention to
And then
any
we're
of this.
then we're like 960,000.
we may hit it by the time we
Is
release this
Allie up here?
podcast.
Allie.
Maybe so.
She's not up here. no
Anyways,
more.
so if you haven't already, guys, please go subscribe to YouTube and Facebook if you have not. A lot of people
Yes.
don't realize that they do not like or subscribe on those things, and it would help us out a lot.
Yeah.
If we could hit those milestones, it'd be a big deal.
Mhm.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, like that all really helps us. So the more you do that, the better.
Should we tell them about
But that's enough of that.
our friend the algorithm? Should we
Yeah.
explain that a little bit? Does
Ooh,
everyone knows
yeah.
what that is now, right?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not unless you're... So in the content creator world, we're faced with this thing called the algorithms, okay?
Dun 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 dun.
The algorithm. We call it the almighty algo. So,
We do.
well, I do.
Caleb
Okay.
does.
Just go with it.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So the algorithm on Facebook, for example, is we post something. So what Facebook does is they take it and they show it to like a small select group of people that like our page. And depending on how that small group of people respond to that post, that determines if more of our page likers see that post. So if you see a post of ours and you hit like, that helps other people see it. If you don't hit like, Facebook's going to be like, oh, it must not be that great of a post because that person didn't like it. We're not going to show it to other people. So that
If
said,
you really want to help,
likes,
you'll like,
thumbs up,
comment, and share.
Comments, shares, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a reason people say that at the end of videos because it really does help.
Like,
There it
comment,
is,
share.
the almighty algo.
Almighty algo.
I love it.
And they're changing it up on us all the time.
All the time.
Big part of our jobs is constantly trying to keep up with it. And every time we think we figure it out, they go and change it again.
Yep.
Those
every time.
Facebookers.
Speaking of what we're trying to keep up with, what are you guys geeking out about? Joey, what are you geeking out
Wait, is it that time?
Is it the
You
time?
didn't hype this up
You
enough,
didn't.
Caleb.
Oh,
This has to be
Nobody
a
even
moment.
sang.
No one's saying, like, this
Take it
has to be
away.
a moment.
Geek out! Geek out!
there it is.
Totally made up for it, bro.
You did.
That was the most passionate
It was.
anyone has ever said geek out. ever.
Oh,
Why
well,
you
this
guys
is
giving
our
me a
Geek
hard
Out
time
segment.
Okay, so me, I just, okay.
What now?
Use
I
your
just
words.
bought a motorcycle.
Oh,
So
that's not geeky at all.
DM
though.
me your
It's
safety
awesome.
That's like the
comments.
opposite.
It is
of
the opposite
geeky.
of geek. That is like
I thought geeking out was just
That's
like
like cool
pumped
out!
about something.
we have a cool out section. Joe would be on it.
That's what I'm geeking out over this motorcycle. Isn't that this is kind of like a
Alright.
phrase, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
true.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We'll give you a pass.
And it is a really nice bike. So what he did
It's a
is
nice bike. And I
got-
kind of look like a geek. I got a helmet that literally looks like an astronaut helmet.
So what Joey did is
Spaceman.
I went and bought a black motorcycle, and then Joey went and bought a much nicer black motorcycle.
But in my defense, I have been looking at motorcycles for years, trying to find the one. And Chad taking that step
It
gave
took
me the courage.
It took me to get a bike,
to
but
take
I
that
wasn't even
step.
really thinking about getting one. And then for Joey to do it, but you know,
Yeah, no, I love
Here we
it
are.
so much. I'm like getting all my own little custom things to make it my own, and sometimes I just look at it, like pet it.
You're just out there just kind of like polishing it up every day.
Yep. It rained today. I have a cover for it. I don't have a garage because I'm in an apartment, so it rained, and I always take the long way out of my apartment if I'm driving my car so I can check on my motorcycle and just like go around and drive past.
Okay,
like,
you're right. This is
How
definitely
you,
geeky.
how you doing?
Hey,
Okay.
but to Joey's defense, he's had a motorcycle stolen before, and so I'm sure you have.
Yeah, so I'm ultra protective.
Yeah.
You're attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my baby.
Mhm.
I honestly been thinking about if I could find a way to fit it in the elevator in my apartment so I can ride it up to my apartment, but probably
Okay.
not gonna happen.
This will be where the rubber meets the road. No pun intended.
Oh!
Do you
You
have
are on one
do
today.
you have
bro.
a name? Do you have a name for your bike?
You know, this is something that I've been thinking about, honestly, and
name it the Jewel.
I have some ideas. But I'm also
jeweler.
open to suggestions.
The jeweler.
The jeweler is a little weird.
I'm not.
Kind of sounds like a Batman villain.
Well, there you go.
Jeweler.
I've always wanted to be a
The
villain.
algorithm sounds like a
The
Batman.
almighty algo.
No, I've got some ideas.
Black
but,
Panther.
I'm going to keep them to myself for now.
All right,
If you have
fair
any
enough, fair enough.
suggestions, let me know.
Spencer, what are you geeking out about?
What am I geeking out about? Man, it's...
If you say Spider-Man again,
dude, I
That's
know...
like 3 geek outs in a row.
Literally, like, I pre-ordered it earlier this week, so I'm, like, super geeking out about it. Watched videos.
no, stop it. That's enough.
I know. So I'm going to step away from that. And what I'm geeking out about, man, I'm serious, like,
Just say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm still...
You still talked a lot about Spider-Man.
I wouldn't feel right trying to come up with something else that I was geeking out because I'm really not geeking out about anything as hard as I am about Spider-Man. I've watched a lot of compilation videos of like the growth of Spider-Man from Spider-Man 1 to now, and it's just getting all excited. Too
Nice.
excited. Yep.
Okay, so I recently, for those of you who don't know, I collect old video games, which is super geeky. I'm bearing my soul here. It is what it is. I just obtained a complete in-box version
I'm so excited.
of The Legend of Zelda for Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
Link to the Past. So it's beautiful. I have a
Link
buddy at a
to the
thrift store
Past.
who like
Link to the Past. Is that a no?
That's-
Okay.
that's
Is that
the
what it's
name-
called?
That's the name
Oh,
of
I thought you were just saying it's a link to the past, and I was like, wow, that's tied in
the game.
perfectly.
That should be what the game is called.
That's honestly to interject here, because since mine wasn't geeky enough for you guys, that A Link to the Past is my favorite video game of all time. Most influential video game I've ever touched.
A lot of people think it's the greatest game of all time.
Mm.
So, little known fact. So anyway, Chad, what are you geeking out about?
Geeking out about a couple things. First off, since I need to interject in this video game world a little bit. It's not games like that, but there's 2 games I play pretty much primarily. That is Madden. I'm huge in the Maddens. Used to be the NCAA footballs until they stopped making them. But huge in the Maddens. Like literally I'm in a league with like 25 other guys who are all like legit good. And yeah, I take it very seriously. Like I have practices and like strategize
You have
and
practices?
and learn how to read coverages and like I'm like literally like
Yeah, you know all the
Hold
stuff
on.
you simulate when because it's boring and you don't want to do it. Yeah, Chad actually does.
I'm
all
like
that stuff.
I take it very seriously.
That blew my mind.
Because you have
Practices.
to be able to compete in this league. Anyways, and I also, in iRacing, which is my racing simulator in my house that I'm, pretty nerdy about.
So
and love.
esports, you ever think about like competing legit in Madden? You gonna get picked up by like an esports team, bro?
He's gonna be on the Patriots
I won't be able
esports
to.
team.
I can't dedicate that much time to it.
Does the Titans have like a?
No, but I mean NBA teams now have NBA 2K esports.
Yeah, I knew that. I
teams
was
that
like,
Yeah,
draft.
I feel
I'll
like
have,
it's
squads.
it'll happen eventually for sure.
The Madden tournaments have been.
I'll
going for a
play.
long
I'll
time.
play offensive line on my team. Just block. Yeah. Anyway, so I just pre-ordered Madden 19, so I'm super excited about that. That's coming any day now.
Cool.
And the other thing I've really dug into is the Enneagram. I know a lot of you probably heard of that. It's been around a long time. I know you guys were, I know Caleb, you've talked about it a lot in the past, and I've kind of looked into it and kind of figured out what my number was and whatnot. But, I've really been diving into it. Like me and my wife bought like these really big textbooks on it, and I've just been fascinated by my number, which is a 7. I'm a pure 7, and my wife is a pure 4, like just to the T.
Why don't we explain
And,
what?
yeah,
what-
yeah.
For those of you who are like,
I was gonna transition into that. And
what?
Caleb, tell them what the
So,
Enneagram
for those of you who aren't familiar, the Enneagram is basically a model of the human psyche that essentially says there's 9 different types of personalities on the planet, and they're all connected somehow. And this originated like in like the 4th century, so it's ancient wisdom that I think we're just kind of now rediscovering. So it's
pretty
really
fascinating.
It's really cool.
It's something I feel like everybody spoken like a 7. Whenever I get excited about something, I want everyone else to be in on. But I feel like everybody can benefit greatly from digging into the Enneagram and first off figuring out what your number is, which you can like take quizzes and tests that sometimes will point you to what it is, and then you just learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, how you operate in the workplace, how you operate in relationships, and it just teaches you so much.
What's the title of the 7? Like, what is
Enthusiast.
the enthusiast?
So
What
give
are
us
you
like
guys?
1 or 2 traits of yours.
Tell them what yours is. Oh, sorry, you asked me a question.
Yeah. So what's a trait?
A
of- or
big
two of the
thing for a 7 is we get excited about stuff like instantly. We'll get excited about stuff and pursue it or whatever, or buy it, and whatever it is, we get really excited about it, and then it's hard for us to maintain that excitement. So we are known for starting things and not finishing them through. And I think the big thing I read recently on a 7 was if we can avoid acting on our impulses, then we'll be much more healthy for it, because our lives are based, like 7s is like, I get an impulse to buy something, or I get an impulse to start this idea, whether it's work related or whatever. And instead of thinking it through to the long term, like, is this really going to be something I should buy? Is this a good investment? Is this a good move to start diving into and work on really hard? Like, can I maintain this or whatever? Think about the long term of it. I just do it. And then most of the time that fades out pretty quickly, and I'm like not nearly as excited about it anymore. So, which there's pros and cons to that, but that's something I'm learning. So that's a big thing of what 7s are.
That's cool.
Awesome.
And to that, I might add, 7s also want everyone else to be as excited as they are.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the stuff
Yeah.
that they're into.
That's why I'm
Cool.
telling everyone, dig into the Enneagram.
That's
right?
why we're talking about the Enneagram, because Chad's excited.
Caleb,
about
what's your number, bro?
it. Just kidding. I'm a 5. The 5 is the observer. So if you walked into a room full of people and I was one of those people, I would probably be listening to 2 people having a conversation, because that's just where I thrive. I like to listen to intelligent people discuss things. I may or may not interject. That's not really what I do as a 5. I like to glean information, and then maybe an hour or 2 later, I might figure out how I feel about it. But in the moment, I'm just like absorbing.
Probably love listening to this podcast. Don't you?
Yeah,
Just intelligent
huge
people.
Anthem Light Show fan.
Just kidding. That's cool. That's cool, man. I'm a 4, which I got into the Enneagram maybe a couple years ago, and I didn't dive into it that heavy, but recently I signed up for this mailing list on, I think it's Enneathought. Wait, I don't know what the website is, but it's like Enneathought of the day. And they just send out, it's like a daily little note specific for whatever number you identify as. And I signed up for that, and it's blowing my mind how much I relate to everything that they say. The 4 is, they call it the individualist. And yeah, it's just crazy, y'all. Check it out.
It's funny because 4s like have super high emotions. They feel all the emotions, and it's like too much sometimes, right? And then 7s, for me, it's the opposite. Like I avoid negative feelings at all costs, you know, and I'm diving and trying to avoid like the negative, you know, fearful stuff is something I avoid. So because my wife's a 4 and we were just reading about the relationship dynamic, and it literally starts off with, well, if opposites attract, then these two are perfect for each other. And we're like, oh.
That must be why we get along so well.
Opposites attract, Joe.
And 5s are just detached from everything. Spence, what are you?
I'm a 3, which is the achiever. And they get very focused on obviously achieving things, like getting things done and wanting to be praised for them. I think that it like for me, I know that like if I'm doing something that I feel like is of value and I'm not really getting acknowledged for what I'm doing, it's really hard for me. And so that's one of the traits. And then also getting too invested in other people's thing and avoiding needs of my own is kind of like all encompassed into this person. I haven't done too much digging. I've honestly had a hard time figuring out what I am because it's bounced from like a 2 to a 3, and then I think once I got a 9 on the test. So like I've not really dialed in fully and like taken ownership of a number, but I think the 3 makes the most sense, and I've gotten that the most out of a couple tests. And so yeah, it's kind of been where I've been living.
That's cool. So 3s are charming, driven. The tendency is to care a lot about how they're perceived.
Mm-hmm.
I know this because my wife is a 3, so we've...
This portion of the podcast is brought to you by the Enneagram. The
Enneagram. Discovering you.
Sponsored by Ian Cron.
The Enneagram is crazy if you think about it. Like, so
Dude,
think
it doesn't
about
make
how
sense
far like
to me.
modern psychology has come and like all the research, and yet here we are talking about something from the 4th century. Well, I mean, there's dispute about when it started, but that's what a lot of people think. That's really old. Right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I read something, actually, me and my wife were reading about it last night, and it talked about how the Enneagram is basically like throughout our childhoods, all of us to like for survival and whatever our, you know, childhood was like, we'll put on a mask basically of this personality trait or whatever. And it just apparently like, these are the 9, like clearly laid out, like we take ownership of one of these, you know, numbers essentially as our mask to survive essentially.
Yeah, but then
the
there's
ego.
still so much. I don't know what the word is. But there's so much difference within each number. Like, I like to think of it not like these rigid lines that everyone fits into perfectly, but it's kind of just a mirror where you can examine yourself and kind of align with these tendencies against that one. And it's also kind of cool because you can kind of like lean. For example, I'm a 4 wing 5, and Chad's wife Fallon, I know this because we were all talking about it the other day, is a 4 wing 3. So she leans more that direction. So I don't know. It's just really
a lot of
pretty
variables.
fascinating,
Yeah, look into it if you haven't. It's super, super interesting, and it really is helpful. Very
Yeah, I
beneficial to understand yourself and the people you love. Speaking of people you love, The Bachelor in Paradise just started. The Bachelorette finale was last week. I don't care.
I'm the only one here that's even watched
Take
it.
it away, Spencer.
And it was a crazy emotional
Give us a
end.
play-by-play analysis.
It was a good ending. She was in love with the 2 guys at the very end.
Was she in love? Was she in love?
You're kidding.
But couldn't live without the one more than the other. I didn't agree with the choice, but
Has this ever happened before?
Becca and Blake are.
She loved them both
Becca
and
Garrett
chose
are
one?
together now.
I'm
my
gonna leave
gosh.
for this portion.
I bet she loved a few others before them too. She had to narrow down, man.
Okay,
Tough life.
so Bachelorette, that was great. Did you have anything
Joe
more
was
to
trying
say,
to move
Spencer?
on really
No,
hard.
That's it.
Okay, for the record, if you like these shows,
No,
then no judgment.
No judgment
That's your
whatsoever.
thing.
I watch really dumb shows. I'll be honest.
I think everybody who watched that show like knows that it's dumb. You just can't turn away. I feel like everyone does. If you think it's awesome, I'm sorry.
if you think about any form of escapism long enough, it seems dumb. Like sports,
That's true.
like a bunch of grown men running around with a ball, like chasing each other. That's the weirdest
In
thing.
bright colored uniforms.
Yeah, like there's no way that's
In
any
tights,
less dumb than The
basically.
Bachelorette.
That's how I feel at the gym when people are just like lifting heavy objects. It's like, this is so barbaric. Anyways,
Anyways, let's do some Q&A.
We win some, we lose some, and some get away. We're perfect, we're broken.
Q&A.
Or as we call it, Ask Them Lights.
Ask Them Lights. It's time for Ask Them Lights.
4 men.
3 questions.
From 2 people.
There's 3 people.
All right, so Q&A.
Confused.
These questions we're going to read all came into our email, anthemlights@gmail.com. If you have any questions for us, shoot them there and put Ask Them Lights in the subject so we know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Let's get started. Ashley Jackson wants to know, what would be a good theme song for your life and why? Ashley, that's a great question. Who wants to start?
Man, when I saw that question, it took me a while. I was sitting there driving here and I saw that question. I was like, man, what would it be? And I immediately thought of like something dumb like the Avengers theme song, just because I like it, or Jurassic Park, which makes no sense because there's no dinosaurs in my life. But anyways, I think for me, because I'm pretty ADHD, and so my brain is like always just all over the place. And so I think any quick, like, I think of that song from like commercials and stuff I've heard where it's like the like, I feel like that's a good theme song for me because it's just so fast and because that's my brain is just always like, get there.
I feel like I picture a cat like trying to paw.
That probably was in that commercial with that song at some point. Anyways,
great, love it.
Yeah, that's mine.
That's
Do we even know the name of this song?
I do not know the name of that song.
Chad,
Right?
please,
It's like
yeah.
It's
It's classical song.
Bach.
Famous piece. I don't know it. I'm ashamed of myself. Who wants to go next?
I think my theme song for right now, and maybe that's just because like I've listened to it recently, but "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. But there's so that song in and of itself is great, but there's a remix of the song that this guy named Mnek did that I love and I've been obsessed with. It literally spelled Mnek, and then you say it like it's spelled. Anyway, his version of it is amazing, and I've been super into it. And so either one of the versions, it's just a feel good song, and it's upbeat, and it's like, don't stop me now. I'm having fun. It's good time, and yeah, love it.
I would have to say, I Believe I Can Fly from Space Jam.
Nice. I believe. No, that's a different song.
I believe I can fly. Yeah.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Which side note, Space Jam is the jam.
Space Jam is the jam.
When is LeBron gonna make a Space Jam movie? Come on.
There were rumors that he was going to attach
been
it to
rumors
his
for a
season
long time.
changing or to his decision of going to the Lakers, but they didn't know it was the Lakers at the time.
Yeah, because he
But he
can't
never
fly
did
to LA to make a,
He never did it.
Yeah, the movie studios.
No,
right in his
I think-
backyard
no,
now,
I'm
so-
saying-
I think
I'm
it was
saying, like-
happening and
like they were supposed
somebody
to.
stopped it. Like
Yeah.
somebody along the way for some reason stopped. I don't know
want
all
to
the
meet
details.
that person. Anyway.
So
Yeah,
if I'm picturing the opening scene of a Caleb Grimm movie, which would be a very boring movie, I'm hearing "I Don't Want to Be" by Gavin DeGraw. Yeah, that's
also
my-
because
that's
it sounds
great.
like you singing. So.
he is an influence.
That's cool. Good answer. Next question. What? Hold on. Next question. This question is from Holland Smith. What's up, Holland? How you doing, girl?
Hey.
Holland wants to know, what is your favorite and your least favorite genre to sing? Great question, Holland. Caleb.
Okay, so I have 2 babies, 2 under 2. So when I'm like trying to console them and I'm like about to sing something, the only songs that come to mind are Christmas songs every time. So I think that means that Christmas music is my favorite to sing because that's always just what I'm about to break out in.
Your kids are gonna love Christmas.
Oh, holy night. Yeah, so that consoles my kids. My least favorite is like really rhythmic stuff because I'm really bad at rhythm. What? Something funny, Spencer?
It just makes me laugh. Just makes me
Is
laugh.
something funny?
Well, I love listening to rhythmic music like R&B and stuff, but I'm terrible at singing it.
Huh.
Spence?
My favorite to sing would be rhythmic music. Stuff that I like to jam to and listen to. But my least favorite would probably be anything theatrical. Just not into the
Like musical stuff?
yeah, musicals.
Like maybe like a Greatest Showman medley?
No, that's different. Greatest Showman was like a pop medley,
That's
and
true.
I'm sure any musical that we did as a band would still put it into a place that I could enjoy. But if I was told to like sing this like you were performing on a stage for a theater, I'd be like, don't enjoy this.
Yeah, totally.
It's a good response. I feel like Spencer was prepared for that response. He was like, Joey's going to say this comment. I'm going to have a response.
Great response.
Anyways, what's funny about that is for my favorite things to sing are musicals. And
So we're just going down the line.
Yeah, basically.
See why we're a band, guys?
yeah,
We
basically.
supplement each other.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just love listening to musicals. When I get into a musical, like I can't put it down for months. Like I'll just listen to it nonstop, and I find myself just walking around the house constantly humming or singing to some musical. They just stay locked in my head. So that's my favorite. And then my least favorite, I'd probably say R&B, just because when it comes to like there's a lot of runs and whatnot in R&B music, and I'm not a run guy, and so that's like my Achilles heel. Whenever I'm in the studio and the guys tell me to do some sort of downward run, I'm like, oh crap, and it's just struggle.
You're way better at it than you think you are.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
you're great.
I was about to say.
Thanks, guys.
My my favorite is probably we're gonna keep it going.
R&B.
R&B, but like old R&B, like some of my biggest influences were like Stevie Wonder and a guy named Donny Hathaway. I don't know, he's not as popular, but that just soulful vibe that's my jam. I can't really riff. I'm not a run guy either, so it makes it difficult, but that's probably my favorite. My least favorite,
You like it all.
I do like it all, but my least favorite is probably just like big, I don't know, maybe along the theatrical thing, but like really belty. I feel like I never had any vocal training at all. And so those belty like singer songs, I don't really feel comfortable there because I don't know how to project properly. And so, yeah, good question, Holland.
Great question.
You're the best. One more question. This is from Elise
Borges.
Borges.
Mm-hmm.
Elise Borges. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Anyway, Elise
If you're
wants
Borges,
to know.
sing her name. Never mind.
I was
sorry.
about to make
Bad.
that same joke.
I love this question. I love this question, Elise. If you were stuck on an island, what 4 movies would you take with you?
I love that it's 4.
Because what else are you going to do on an island
At
but sit
least.
around and watch movies?
Great question. Yeah, we're assuming a couple things.
Yeah.
There is a means to watch them. DVD player.
Is it a
TV.
4K? Is it a 4K
To plug
TV
it
or a
in.
regular
It's
TV?
4K, top of the line.
4K? Oh god.
OLED, 4K,
Love it.
the best.
Vizio,
The best
Samsung.
of the best.
What are we working with here?
Stuck on an island, 4 movies.
Blu-ray? Not
Let's
just
go.
limited
Let's go
edition?
down. Let's go down the
Is
line.
there popcorn?
Let's go down the.
This depends.
There's not popcorn. You have to chew on bamboo. That's all that you can do.
Buttered bamboo.
Let's go down the line and go like 4 rounds. So
Love
each
it.
say one.
So, like,
I'm
one
gonna go
movie.
first. Definitely La La Land.
Boom.
Chad.
Good movie.
The Greatest Showman.
Shoot.
2 musicals.
Boom. Shoot.
Oh man.
Only because we have to, we need stuff that's going to make us happy,
Yeah.
We're on an island. Like, we're never leaving.
Spencer,
I know.
you're thinking too much.
I am.
There's a movie in your
First
head
thing
right
that comes
now.
to your
Say
head.
it.
Star Wars Force Awakens.
There it is.
First
Alright.
one.
I'm going to say, for the sake of ideas, Castaway.
Yeah,
Ah!
I was thinking
I
about
feel like it's a good reference to have
I was
around.
thinking
Like,
about it.
Strategy.
You are a
yeah.
genius.
what am I
Yes,
going to eat
bro.
today? Oh, I
That's
should check into that
amazing.
movie, see what he did.
See what
Anyways.
he did, yeah. I'm gonna throw a little curveball at you guys and say movie number 2, Hitch. That is a classic,
Great.
dude.
It's a good one.
Rom-com.
Classic.
Yeah, I would have to, because again, I'm trying to cheer myself up. So I would have to say Dumb and Dumber. Throw in the classic of Dumb and Dumber.
Man,
Classic.
great movie, Spence.
Thank you for the idea, because Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Mm-hmm. Jim Carrey.
Dude.
I like it.
Classic.
I'm tempted to say other island movies, but I'm going to veer away from that. Shawshank Redemption. It's one of my all-time faves.
That's a great one. Life of Pi. I don't even know you guys. I don't even know if you've seen that movie, but that movie
Oh.
moved me.
It's a good movie.
So that's number 3. 2
2
more, Chad. Come on.
I'll say The Dark Knight because it's one of my all-time favorite movies. So.
Kind of new, but Ready Player One.
Really?
Was really I cried from how it made me feel in the movie just watching it because I felt so immersed, and I'm gonna keep my last movie because it's kind of ties in together. So go ahead.
I'm gonna say. Well, we need to mix it up genre-wise, so I'm gonna say The Avengers. Got to take
Classic.
my Marvel universe.
I was
to the
going
islands,
there
you know?
next. Yeah.
Which one?
First one.
First one. Got it.
Gotta have that one.
Okay. Last movie. Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna bring this movie with me because it will remind me of home. And it will remind me of simpler times in my family. The Fox and the Hound.
You just want to
Yes.
cry, don't you?
Fox and the Hound. I'm already down, okay? Copper. Copper.
Yeah, I got a lot of movies running through my
Copper and
head,
Todd.
but yeah, I need to have some sort of Marvel thing in there. So I'll say Infinity War, just because they're all in it. You know, just get reminded by
That nice
my
cliffhanger.
heroes.
It is
you
the
know,
penultimate
Yeah.
movie.
except it would stink if I go to the island right now and I won't know.
Wait.
I won't know the next one, how it ends. You know, and so I'll be like,
There's no spoiler alerts.
I will
Joe.
have no
We're
idea.
Way too far.
It's been out a long
yeah,
time, hasn't it?
it's
You can purchase the movie on Vudu now.
yes.
What's a good point though? You would die on that island.
I would never know how it ends.
Okay, my last movie, The Iron Giant.
Oh.
Dude, that movie hits me. Whoa. Really? Whoa.
I love that movie.
Dude,
It's that Friends
you need to
quote.
go see.
The Iron
You need to
Giant.
go see or watch The Iron Giant. That's why I didn't want to say it because it was in Ready Player One, the giant from Iron Giant, and I just was like, I cried because I was like, it's my movies.
Real tears.
Real tears streamed down my face.
I love you.
Yeah, dude. The Iron Giant's my jam.
When you said Iron Giant, I thought Little Giants. Did you ever see the Little
Great
Giants?
Wait a second.
Yep.
What? Which one? I feel like I have.
Say no so I can go, what?
The Little Giant. So it's like kids.
They're playing football.
football, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I've seen this. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's been a long time ago.
My last movie, man, this is kind of a deep cut, but it inspired kind of like this affinity for aliens and stuff. Signs.
Oh,
Hey.
man.
I loved Signs.
Great
when it came
movie.
out, so.
Great movie. That was the first. No, it's not even that scary. That's the first scary movie I ever saw, and I went and saw it in theaters with my buddy for his birthday party. I was petrified.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's kinda
Dude,
creepy.
because in the movie, the birthday scene, the birthday party scene
right.
gets me.
yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
So
Oh, my
good.
I
God.
get
So
chills
good.
every time I see it.
The new movie A Quiet Place. Is it A Quiet
Yeah.
Place? That reminded me a lot of
genre.
Signs.
Yeah.
Very
Thriller,
signsy.
psycho
Very
thriller.
signsy.
Yep.
Mhm.
Anyway, so thanks for your questions, guys. Again, hit us up, anthemlights@gmail.com with more questions. Thank you.
yeah,
The
And
end.
thank you.
yeah. Like Joey said, send those questions in. What did we learn today, boys? What did we learn today, Joey?
Never
what'd you
remember to think about this. I
I know,
learned
either.
that Spencer has emotions, and he was able to cry real tears because of the Iron Giant.
learn? Dude? Yeah.
I respect that, bro. I get
Hogarth.
that. I get that way too. I cry.
Hogarth is my dude.
Love you. Gosh, I love you, Spencer.
Dude, I love you too, man.
Yeah. Come here.
Okay.
Is this happening?
For those who don't see video, they are hugging. That's the noise you hear. Anywho.
Edit that out.
No, keep it in there. Keep it in.
Man. Skip.
Oh gosh, Chad, I was counting on having the time.
Sorry.
I learned that Chad's theme song
You can't even remember. Oh,
is that like that. Then yeah,
You have to sing it. If
can't-
you're gonna say it,
there's
you
no
have to sing
time. I don't even know how it goes, but
There you go.
I know
It's
it.
close.
I've heard it in my head, and that made me laugh because I would never have guessed that. It was good. Something to learn.
Yeah, I learned that too. I learned that Spencer pre-ordered Spider-Man. That's commitment.
Yes, very much commitment.
Man, I can't think of anything.
Chad, just say something.
I learned.
Say something about me.
I knew Spencer. I knew
What did you
Spencer.
learn about me,
I knew Spencer
Chad?
loved The Bachelorette, but I didn't know how much he loved The Bachelorette. So I learned that today.
Yeah, I got pretty connected to this season.
Well, all three of us were about Spencer stuff.
Anyway, thank
That's
you
the best,
guys.
most
Spencer,
hardball
he
thing.
didn't get defensive. He was just like,
Thank you guys so much for listening.
y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
Spencer,
Social
you
media handles.
You should
What's your
definitely
social
go on
media?
The Bachelor.
I should go on The
Bachelorette.
Bachelorette.
Gosh.
Would it be The
Can we have
Bachelor or
an Anthem
Bachelorette?
Bachelor?
Yeah, it'd be Bachelorette.
You should be on The Bachelor.
I don't think your girlfriend will like that.
I want to
very
see you
much.
competing
she
with like
would.
24 other guys.
Well, that's also the fun of it. It's just like how would like we sit there and then we'll pause and be like, how would you have responded to that moment, or like how would you?
You pause it and give commentary.
We laugh.
Oh,
Okay, it's
no,
partial
dude.
like investment.
You make the Bachelorette
Hold on a second.
longer.
It's like partial
It
investment, but
already
it's also
is.
partial just like making fun of, enjoying the drama, and then talking and just like, no, but for real, how would you play the show? Like, how would you go about it? Would you be very like competitive, or would you kind of be reserved and just try to focus? Like, how would you go about it?
I saw on the Jimmy Fallon monologue the other day, they were talking about The Bachelor, and they were like, they were talking about like what they really mean captions, and it showed a scene from The Bachelor, and the guy she kicked him off or whatever, and he was basically like, I just really thought we could be something, and I was really feeling a spark, and just saying all these emotional things to her. And the real captions were, I just really wanted to stay on so I could be on Bachelor in Paradise. I just really wanted to be in the next couple episodes. Like, it was just, it was really funny.
Yeah.
How do we get back here?
I don't know.
We talk a lot about The Bachelor on this
We
show.
do. No more.
Caleb, where can they find you on social media?
Instagram, Twitter, at Caleb Grimm.
You guys can find me, Spencer Kane Music, on Instagram. I am Spencer Kane on Twitter.
Chad M. Graham on Instagram and Twitter.
Joseph Stamper.
Awesome.
Boom.
Awesome. And you can find our band social media, Anthem Lights Band, and then Anthem Lights everywhere else. So, thank you so much for tuning in. This was the Anthem Lights show, and we'll catch you next time.
Love you guys.
Hit it. There it is.
We win some.